Call the meeting to order. Roger, if we could have roll, please.
Opperly. Here. Barton.
Here.
Betteridge.
Here.
Handbeck. Jones.
Here.
Spar.
Here.
Warham.
Here.
We have quorum.
Has everybody had a chance to look at last month's minutes? There's no amendments. I hear a motion for approval.
Make the motion that we approve the minutes once they get to us. We don't have them right now, but let's just
You can table.
let's table it. Let's just table it. We'll
Yeah.
get them.
I'll second. Could be motion tabled by Kevin, seconded by.
Second by voice. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Before we start tonight, council's going to read a short little statement.
Thank you. Public hearings are being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to address the zoning board will be sworn in by me and will give their testimony under oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the zoning board will make its recommendation for yes, or its determination, for yes votes are required to obtain approval. For a variation, the zoning board's task is to determine whether an applicant meets certain legal requirements. The variation procedure is not intended to evaluate whether a proposed variance is a good idea. The Zoning Board of Appeals cannot grant a variance unless it finds the evidence presented before it proves that because of the particular physical surroundings, shape, or topographical conditions of the specific property involved, a particular hardship to the owner would result, as distinguished from a mere inconvenience if the strict letter of the regulations were to be carried out. 2, the conditions upon which the variation is based are unique to the property for which the variance is sought and not applicable generally to other property within the same zoning classification. 3, the proposed variation is not based exclusively upon a desire for financial gain. 4, the alleged difficulty or hardship is caused by the zoning code and has not been created by any persons presently having an interest in the property. 5, the granting of the variation will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood. 6, the proposed variation will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property, substantially increase the congestion of the public streets, increase the danger of fire, endanger the public safety, or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. Unless the zoning board finds that all of these criteria are met, the zoning board cannot by law grant the applicant a variance. Thank you.
All right, with that, our first case tonight is number 16-17. Lighthouse Buick GMC is requesting a variance to build a parking lot at 309 North Main Street, Zone B3. Petitioner seeks a variance of the required side setback of 7'5" to .05. If you want to step up podium, Pat will swear you in.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I affirm. Thank you.
And if you could just state your name and address first, for record.
Jeff, dealership address?
That's fine.
100 West Jackson Street, Morton. And what we're asking for, and you're probably familiar with this, is just southeast corner of behind our shop and borders Main Street. And we're asking to extend the fence that's on the south side of our property just straight. So the fence that's already there, just continue bringing that straight to through this property where the RHMA building is. So that's what we're asking for that parking lot, for that to work. So I don't know if there's anything else really. It's pretty straightforward.
Is this what we've done on the front Jackson Street side?
Jeff, is this overflow employee parking or is this like
showroom parking?
It will not be display. It will probably be like customer service
Okay.
parking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like for the shop, for the repair. It could be some employee, but I don't think we're planning on that. I mean, we're just trying to make it all work, so it will probably just be customer parking.
Does anybody in the audience wish to comment to this case? Yes, ma'am. You could step up to, Jeff, you want to step back? Step up to the podium, and we'll swear you in too.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jody Mountain, 218 West Wagner, live by Lighthouse. I just want to know how much more they're going to be allowed to take from our residential area. After they take that building, there will now be 6 buildings or houses that has been taken from that area for Lighthouse to expand for a parking lot. They need it. They do need it. I won't deny that. But we are a residential area, and 16 years ago, we moved there. We knew there's a car dealership there. You're going to have noise. You're going to have lights. Okay, not a problem. But how much farther are they going to take from our neighborhood? You know, the poor employees having to run across Jackson and risk their lives. They have outgrown this space. They outgrew this space 5 years ago. I just want to know how much more is going to be allowed to be taken.
I don't think that's a question I can answer. Or if it's relevant here.
The only thing I'd ask Roger for is our request is not for rezoning, so this is existing commercial property, Roger?
Yes, it is.
How far do we go back towards her house as far as the business zone?
Well, they're around the corner on Wagler, so there would be a couple houses on their side of the street prior to Wagler, and then Grimm's are right across the street from it, so.
So I don't think they're going to get into the R1,
Okay, well, I just,
you know.
we want to make sure we're safe, our neighborhood is safe, and I know things happen in this town, and that's fine, but I just want to make sure we're safe. And if this is a parking lot that's only going to be used for customers, what about the employees that park in front of the church on Main Street and park in front of the insurance agency, to where as you're turning off of Pershing onto Main Street, you have no sight to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think those are public spots. I mean,
Yeah, and that
You
I
know,
understand,
yeah.
but it's just, I know that those are employee cars, and
Yeah.
if you're trying to get off of Pershing, it's blind.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's a
tough.
hope and a prayer that you don't get hit. So that's my concern, and I think if they're gonna turn that into a parking lot, that'd be beautiful for the employees.
Yeah,
But, you know, it's just, my concern is that they're gonna start creeping. And I like my house a lot.
yeah. Well, I don't think if you're in R1, it'd require a change of
Okay,
zoning for that to
Right.
all right. That was
happen.
my only concern, was I was just worried.
Okay.
And I thank
Where
you
does
for
it
your time.
switch?
Well, I appreciate you coming up.
Right across the street. The property right across Bauman from where they're currently located, like their new shop. Across the street is where the residential starts.
Okay.
And then kind of turns the corner on Wagler.
And I thought we were still residential, but I wasn't sure, because that's been, about 10 years ago that was voted on, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for Jeff? Is anybody else in the audience?
Jeff, real quick, do you think this parking lot will alleviate any of the street parking in the back there? Or?
Jeff, if you don't mind, since we don't have Arlene here, my record of our proceeding comes from the microphone, so if you could answer into that mic, that'd be great.
Yeah, you can sit down. Yeah, just.
Sorry about that, Jeff.
Welcome.
You don't get to vote, but you can't sit down.
Hopefully it will help some. We have other plans on the north side with because the state bought the house on the corner, and we just took another house down to the north, so that's going to be employee parking. So in the near future, we hope to have more of those off the street. So everything will help, because every place we open up on the other side of the lot, we can have more employees park. So So we constantly, and I apologize, and I'll be glad to talk to you, I don't know if it's Jody or whoever it is sometime otherwise, and we'll try to work things out, but we make a big effort to try to work with the area. So it will definitely help, because it's that many more spots that we're gonna have that we don't have today, so. But I couldn't say that nobody will park on the street
Right.
tonight
Yeah,
as a result of this.
okay. Well, with that,
Do you have any plans to buy any of the homes on Wagler Street besides the ones that you already took down?
Not immediately, obviously, the ones that are in the zoning, and again, I'll be glad to talk to Jody about that. You know, obviously, if we continue to grow, if it's in a business zoning area, we would maybe possibly be interested, but no, at this point, we don't.
yes, sir. Yeah, you can just want to comment. Can we?
Can that mic stretch over there?
I don't know if it's got enough cord. Can we stretch that mic over there or not? Okay, yeah, you can, that's fine.
I'm Trent Strunk. I own property on Ballman there.
Hey, Trent, before you comment,
We
I
gotta be
got
sworn
swearing in. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
And only question I had is, didn't really have any question that came for this until he just made the comment that he may extend farther north. And I know it's kind of a iffy subject with commercial and residential, but and like with the man that spoke earlier, I'd also like to know how far north is he planning on going. I'm all for promotions and all for bettering the city. Been here my whole life, so. But I also own property actually on Ballman, which is not too far from his parking lot as it is now. So I'd also like to know a little more explanation on what his tendencies are, if he's going south or if he's going north.
Yeah, Jeff can step, he can answer that.
So to the north, on the west side of Bauman, we're as far north as we can go. On the east side of Bauman, there's one more house. Jason Wells' home is in the commercial area. That's the last one. So basically, there's only one more home that is even possible that could be in the commercial area at this point. Is that correct, Roger? I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yep, that's right.
So the west side of Bauman, no more. We're to the end, unless the zoning changed, which I doubt. And then the Jason Wells house is the last one on the other side.
So Roger, so there's none on Wagler then that's left, that's
No.
zoned
Everything else
business?
is
Okay.
on Wagler, like where that lady lives, that's all residential.
Okay.
Trent, what was your address? What's your address?
425 North Ballman.
425.
Okay. If nobody else has any questions for Jeff? Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant case number 16-17 under 1010 2C as stated.
I second it.
Roll call.
Yes, please.
Betteridge?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Spar?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Opperly?
Yes.
Barton?
Yes.
You have your
Thank you.
variance, Jeff?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I appreciate the two people showing up. That's nice. Okay, next case is 16-18. Ken Newman is requesting a variance for a dormer in front entry addition at 404 East Tyler Street, zoned R1. The required side setback is 5'3". The existing home is only 2'4" from the side property line.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I did.
Thank you.
My name is Kenneth Newman. I live at 408 East Tyler Street. This property at 404 is immediately to the west of our residence. I do desire the variance from the side yard setback for the purpose of obtaining a building permit to basically 2 additions to the present structure. One would be a full-length dormer on the rear of the property, on the rear of the home, as shown there. That would be the east elevation view there. And also a small, I guess, front entrance on the front of the house, approximately 4 feet by 9 feet. The home was just, the property was just purchased by myself and my wife, and we intend to basically totally reconstruct the home, gut it, renovate it, and put the addition on. And basically want to improve the property as it sits 9 feet from our house.
I don't see any problems with it, being that you did incur that house being that close. Does anybody in the audience wish to? Anybody on the board have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I moved in the case of 16-18 that it be approved as requested.
I'll second that.
Jones.
Yes.
Spar.
Yes.
Warham.
Yes.
Opperly.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Betteridge.
Yes.
Variance been granted. You can have some fun now.
All right, thank you.
Okay, our next case, 16-19, engineering design and development is requesting a variance to connect 2 parking lots at 911 and 101 West Jefferson Street, Zone I-1. Required side setback is 10 feet. Since the 2 parking lots would be connected, it would result in a variance of 10 feet. Oh, scared me, Chuck. Okay.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
My name's Charles Rinkenberger. The business is at 1001 West Jefferson Street. We're requesting this side yard setback to allow access to and from our property from the shared drive, the shared entrance. Right now, we've got a problem with getting trucks in and out, being able to turn around in our property and get them back out off the same one entrance. This will allow to be able to enter on one, be able to circle around, unload, and then pull out the other one. We're just, with the new Jefferson improvements, street improvements, we just took this opportunity to make these changes. We probably wouldn't have done this right now, except for that they're doing all the changes on Jefferson Street. And this seemed like the best time to do it as far as trying to improve the entrances. What we've done is we've taken the entrance that was right in front of Bartolome Guns and moved it west to allow clean up a lot of problems. That allow some parking that he didn't have very well before. Allows us to be able to cross that line like we've talked about. It allows our trucks to be able to get in and out of the parking lot better. And it also sets us up for future expansion if we need to. So I don't know if anybody has any questions of me, but it's consistent with what's going on across the street. Casey's is that way. Mathis Kelly's that way. All the properties around us is consistent. They're crossing the property line to go to the 2 shared entrance drive. So
This will be nice to have that.
Nice improvement.
Is there anybody? I don't think there's anybody in the audience for this case. Anybody have any questions? Chuck? No?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve case 16-19 under 10.10.2C as stated.
Second.
Spar.
Yes.
Warham.
Yes.
Opperly.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Betteridge.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
All right. Variance has been granted. Thanks, Chuck. Okay, our fourth case tonight, 16-20. Novus Franklin is requesting a variance to build a carport at 353 South Carroll Avenue, zoned R1. The required side setback is 5'3". The proposed carport will be 3'2" from the side property line, resulting in a variance of 2'1". Novus, you want to come up and sit down? We'll swear you in.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sit down here.
My name is Thomas Franklin. I live at 353 South Carroll, besides the Morton, used to be Mennonite Church. I'd like to build a carport, hook it to my house, and my driveway is 11.2. Well, to make it solid, I'd like to go off that driveway and set the poles in the concrete. There'll be metal poles going to concrete with the 4x4s on it. It'll be made out of treated lumber. That's about it. You got any questions? What I'm gonna do with it? It'll be 20 foot long. And driveway's 11.3. If I go off, your post hole, you know where you've dug poles with?
Yeah.
I gotta dig off there.
We've never granted a variance for a carport before. How much room do you have? I know it costs more, but maybe to make your garage a little bigger, or?
I could do that, but it costs a lot more money.
Yeah. Can you get your truck in that garage right now? or
I
not?
can get my boy can get his pickup in there,
Okay.
but my car sits outside.
Oh, okay.
Either in the church parking lot or on the street.
Yeah.
Most of the homes in that area only have a single car garage.
That's correct.
Mr. Franklin, I'm assuming this wouldn't have a gutter system with it?
No, it'll be slanted. It'll go on my property. See, between me and the Methodist Church, they got 2.5 and I got 2.5.
Yeah, well, I'm a little concerned that
Yeah.
in-between area is actually sloped back towards
Yeah.
your
Right
drive
where my
there.
boy's got his pickup truck, that's where I would like to be, the back end, and it'll go down the driveway. That's where I'd like to hook it on. And I could get my Buick in there and he could let his truck sit underneath that carport when it's ice and snow and all that.
Yeah, I agree as far as keeping cars out, but just I don't know about starting, carports. And
I think that you'd like it if you put a two-car garage in at the back.
Oh, I probably would. If you would give me the money, I'd like it. Okay?
There's banks here, huh?
it's just it's a tough deal.
It is a tough deal.
And I
Got room. He has room for a two-car garage, doesn't he?
think
Looks
you
like
have,
it.
what you have from behind that garage, your property line, I think they've got enough. You could,
I can go behind that garage, but when it rains real bad, I get a lake in that whole backyard.
yeah.
That gentleman over there's probably seen it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how all the Glen Street and everything runs downhill when I get to the lake. And that's why I wanted to put it on the driveway there.
I feel your plight. I don't know how everybody else feels. As far as the carport goes,
Not too excited.
Has
You
the
know.
church talked to you about expanding that parking lot?
Expanded, that was years ago. Methodist there no more. They was gonna expand it by my house behind, but Protestant church, they bought it. All I wanna go is about post hole dig down 2 foot and set the 2x4s in it and brace it.
I'd be willing to work with you on I mean, obviously you don't want to put a garage up, but,
No.
you know, I can see you want this, but I don't think I could go for a carport. I know it's functional and you might do it nice, but the next guy it's just gonna be a flat roof, pretty much?
I'm gonna put a steel roof on. It's gonna be sloped. The high point's gonna be 8 foot.
Yeah.
Never what the contractor says he's gonna slope it to. It might be 6-inch slope on there,
Yeah.
et cetera.
You're gonna slope it from the house,
Yeah, it's gonna be sloped from the house.
so the 8 foot will be up by the house.
Yeah, 8 foot will be top of the house, right above that kitchen window up there.
Right.
That's where we'll hook it to the house, and it'll be on over across, and it'll be about 2 inches from the garage. There'll be a pole there by the garage, another one on the end, and I'll probably put 4 on the easement if I get it, because I don't want it to blow away.
I think it's tough for us, Mr. Franklin. Yeah, I understand that you want to stay dry and keep your vehicle dry, but for us to call, walking in the rain and keeping a car dry a hardship, I think that's a tough sell for us. It's a tough stretch. I understand. I completely agree. There's a lot of one-car garages in town here, though. And that we kind of got to stay true to that, and others would ask for that. And I don't know. For me, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So.
I'd consider a 2-car garage if you could work that out. And I know it's more expensive, but I don't know if you have enough votes here to get what you want.
I would have to concur. It makes me feel bad.
That's all right.
I'd like to be able to help you out, but I kind of concur with what they're saying, unfortunately. It just,
Okay.
hate to tell you no,
Huh.
but
How about if this is delayed until he thinks about the 2-car garage?
If you could, we could delay this until the next meeting if you could come up with an alternative.
Come up what?
We could delay our decision till the next meeting if you could come up with an alternative that we wouldn't have to pay for another fee to come.
No, that's the only alternative I got.
Okay,
I see.
To keep it going.
carport's okay. If there's no more questions? Does anybody in the audience wish to comment? Without one, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant 16-20 under 1010 2C as stated.
Second.
Warren,
No.
Hopperly,
No.
Barton,
No?
Betteridge,
No.
Jones,
No.
Spar.
No.
I apologize. It's just one of those deals. I just apologize that, it just didn't work out.
Oh, that's all right. I'll park it on the street.
Okay.
When the snowplow comes by, you give me a ticket, I try to get it off the street for you guys. Okay?
All right.
I'll say, go talk to the board. That's what I'll tell him. Thank you.
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thanks, Novice.
Okay, our last case tonight, 16-21. Will McMillan is requesting a variance for a maximum area of rear yard that may be covered with accessory structures and the maximum number of accessory structures allowed. The petitioner is asking for 3 accessory structures and 164 square feet more coverage than the 60% allowed by the ordinance.
Solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So you're pulling up the PowerPoints?
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Rod. So Will McMillan, I live at 251 South Ohio Avenue. That's a picture of my house. If you go on to the next page, what we're looking to do is we're looking to put an in-ground pool back there. And the property that we have is very small in the backyard. So we've already gone through the process to get a pool permitted, and we have the permit for it to build the in-ground pool that's back there, and that's been approved by the city. And now what we want to do is just improve the functionality of the backyard and improve the appeal of the backyard. So what we're looking for is a professionally landscaped yard with a lot of patio pavers around the pool, and you'll be able to see the diagram of what that looks like. and then also a built-in open-air structure that has a built-in kitchen back in the backyard as well. Both of which will be constructed all professionally because I wouldn't have any idea how to do that. You go to the next one. Here's a picture of what the backyard looks like. You can see it's very narrow. It's actually got a triangle shape that we'll show on the next slide, but it's trying to make it put in the biggest value that we can. One of the questions will be on property value, so I just took this as a snapshot on Zillow. Our house has a value in Zillow of $500,000 compared to some of the other neighborhood houses. The intent of this is just to show that we're not looking to deteriorate the value of anybody else's property. In fact, we're looking to increase the value of our property as we go through it. If you go to the next slide. So this I obtained from Roger. It's the backyard from the rear of the house. The coverage that's allowed in order to get a 60% is 1,715 square feet. And I'm looking for a variance of about 164 square feet. If you can go to the next slide. So this was pulled together by Scott Moreland, and again, using a pool company, Scott to do the landscaping, and then a construction company to do an open-air structure. So what it is, it's landscaping around the perimeter of the yard to keep that in line with what the easement requirements are. Putting a 40 by 16 foot pool, in-ground pool in the back. You can see the shade structure that would be attached to the shallow end of the pool. And basically everything else would be even to that, and would be pavers, brick pavers that are back there. If you go to the next slide. So the variances, and Roger's been great. I just compliment you on the record, Roger, of helping me figure out what I was doing and the variances that I would need to do it, because I didn't even know some of them existed. So the requirement that we have is 60% of the yards being covered. And so it's a variance of 164 or 5.8%. And then I found this one out late, though, is that the pavers are within 25 feet of the back line. So that apparently counts as a structure. So we'd have the pool, the open air shade structure, which I knew of, and then the patio pavers to go around it. And then in response to maybe some of the questions that you would have on the next slide, the concerns would be what would the neighbors think from a grading perspective. And so we had it professionally looked at and got that approved, and that's all been permitted by the city already to put in the pool. So the grading will be fine. Whether it creates a visual eyesore, it's going to be all professionally fenced and landscaped by Scott, adding privacy that's in there. I've worked with Roger to understand what the requirements of a building would be in there, and again, it's an open-air structure that was out there. And I would say that the patio size is not excessive by any stretch of the imagination. It's just really trying to maximize the backyard. And then I already kind of addressed the home value question that was out there. We're not looking to do anything on the cheap. We want to make sure that's done right and hold our property value or even increase our property value. That's it.
As far as the area, as far as the square footage, is there anywhere you could take out some pavers or something where you could, if you could, I don't know.
There are ways to make it, and I'd have to rerun the calculation. I didn't have a chance to do this, but
right.
We actually have ITV3 cable that's running through our yard that wasn't where it was supposed to be. And in the process of doing that, I think the rear line is actually 7 feet and not 6 feet. So you would have a 1 foot pickup across the length of the backyard that we weren't planning on, which is 88 feet or something like that. So it's very close to not needing it.
Are you planning to put any structure to house your pool equipment?
No, we have a car and a big garage, and it's a 2-car garage, but 2.5 essentially. So our equipment that we use for fun will be all stored in the garage, and for the equipment itself, it will sit behind the house as well. And if you went back a couple of slides, I could show you where it is if you're interested. On the back where it says landscaping, on the right-hand side on the bottom, will be where the pool equipment is.
This area.
Because you have a nice patio adjoining your home there in the back.
Oh, we have a nice patio in the back, yes. Very nice.
Are you putting up another fence too?
There's currently a fence on the rear property
Right.
line.
I've seen your neighbor, she has hers. You leaving that one staying there, that's going to be the fence?
That would be the fence, and just
Okay, that's
working
the
off
one
the
you're-
existing
okay.
fence on the other sides.
Okay. This is just a weird deal with the pavers, if you consider
Yeah, Mr. McMillan, I would say I would agree on if you can make the pavers work, you know, and get down to that 165, so you're in conformance. I mean, that's tough with the size of the backyard and the accessory structures. So I
think we'll, quite honestly, again, I already had submitted the paperwork. Once we found out there was a 7-foot easement, I think we're gonna be really close to be able to be compliant with that.
Yeah, I would agree with you on the accessory structure.
We've had an issue with this where it's been the 3 buildings. This is the first time we've had one with, the pavers are actually the
building.
Are like, so considered a building, yeah, that's. What is the definition of that? I mean, when did we come up with that, Roger, as far as like pavers becoming?
At one point, they used to put these patio block in, and that'd be a patio, and we never did anything with that. You know, they'd come and go, those 1.5 inch by.
Yeah.
Well, then things got more elaborate where they put these pavers in. They could be a driveway, or it could be a parking lot, or it could be a patio like Will's talking about. And they, you know, by the time they put that CA6 base in there and it's compacted, it's as costly, if not more, than pouring concrete, and it's every bit as permanent. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
So then we now write permits if somebody's doing a paver patio or paver driveway or whatever, that requires a permit.
Okay. I'm sure when you're done with it, it'll really look nice. If Scott's doing Brad, I mean, I have no doubt there. If the square footage, it's just, that's a weird deal with the pavers. You know, 'cause I don't think they're gonna intrude on any of the neighbors' lot lines.
No.
If you can get rid of the square footage.
But it sounds like now, if you took that extra foot across the back times the width of your lot, which is 90 feet or whatever.
Yeah, I don't recall, I think 88 feet or
88.
whatever, it's somewhere in that
You're
vicinity.
about halfway there now.
And who told
so
you
one
you
more
had the extra
paver.
foot?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Who told you you had the extra foot that you weren't aware of?
Roger surprised me on it. No, so what ended up happening is ITV3 put a cable in, they started digging the pool because we already have the permit for that, and their line wasn't, it was actually running through the middle of my backyard, and the previous owners had very thick bushes in the backyard that we've taken out. When you take that out, it makes it easier to see where the property line is at. When I was talking with ITV3, they said it's a 7-foot, and I was going under the assumption from previous discussions it was 6, but
Has that actually been confirmed by a survey, or that's just hearsay from? I would just want to make sure if we say, okay, we're going to grant it, and then it be true that it is 7 foot, and not just.
So I have not had a survey. What I have is Roger has the original. Is it plat? Is that the technical term?
Right.
The plat that has written on there that the easement is a 7-foot utility easement that's in there.
So you can confirm that then, Roger?
I don't know where those lines are, you know, to go out there, and that's not our, that's
As
our
far
job
as
here
lot
tonight,
line,
either,
defining
to
a
do
lot
that.
line.
No.
No, we can't.
But I'm saying, do we want that in the motion, though? I'm saying that we're saying. No, I hate to have him go to the expense of having it surveyed, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to grant the variance, not knowing in fact that it is 7 foot, and that where the pavers are going is going to be in line with it.
I mean, and I'm not telling you what to do, but some of your discussion has been that reducing his square footage by 165 square feet may be doable. If that was your intention for that to happen, then you just reject or refuse to grant the variance on the additional square footage, and then you're left to consider the number of accessory structures request. So I suppose the square footage issue, or whether that's 7 foot or 6 foot, wouldn't necessarily be determinative of where you go on the.
We'll do that as separate, split them.
Maybe do that.
Mrs. Holberger, did you understand what did you actually understand what he's doing up there as far as it wasn't buildings?
Not really.
Okay.
The papers are what?
Is it all right if I stand?
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah, you
show
want
you.
to just show her, that way she can get a visual on
one
what's,
the best one?
yeah, she's his backyard neighbor.
Yeah, so we have the rear existing porch here that's already a covered porch. The pool is in this vicinity with the landscaping around the back. On this one right here would be a 12 by 18 foot structure, open air structure
And Roger, I don't recall I think you said the maximum height it could be was
13 feet.
13 feet, and it was within the allowable square footage given the size of the yard. I don't know if that helps.
Is there any grass or anything?
Yeah, this is all gonna be,
This will all be around the outside.
that's all gonna be landscape.
And so where your trees are on the other side of the fence, we're gonna actually have very similar trees going all the way around the back and the sides, again, just from a privacy standpoint.
So there's 4 feet of pavers around the pool is what he's got, so.
Okay.
No,
got 3 feet.
sorry, or just correct that, sorry. I don't want to tell you wrong, but.
Okay.
This is the water within the pool. The 4 feet represents where the concrete will be around the pool.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to have concrete around the
Okay, so there's no,
structure. And then the pavers.
oh, around here, okay,
And the pavers will go all the way through over to here.
okay.
And again, it's just a small backyard.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind it was buildings that I'm always, we're concerned about. I don't know if I'm concerned about I don't think there's enough pavers there to intrude in your deal. He's gonna have nice landscaping between everybody.
There are 2 new structures that this plan involves, correct, Roger?
Pool and,
Those, shade structure and
Straight
the
shed,
pavers.
yeah, and the patio. There's 3.
There's 3.
yeah.
There'd be 3 total structures.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see,
The pool's
yeah,
one
with the pool,
permit.
yeah.
So, and when you're talking about approval of the number of the structures, I just wanted to be clear to keep in mind that you're not just talking about the pavers as a structure, but you're also talking about the shade structures and new
Right.
constructed structure.
What's the hot tub considered? Is that gonna be permanent there?
It's going to be there, but we don't require a permit for them, or we've never counted them as such.
Okay. It just sits on a cement slab or something?
It does, yeah, so it's not a cement slab.
Okay. So that's movable.
How does everybody else feel about having the 3, including the pavers being 1?
Yeah, given what he's got with the backyard there, having a paver as an accessory structure, I think would be considered a hardship. I mean, the pool and the structure, the shade structure, I think is fair. I mean, he's just in a tough spot there with the deck, so.
Yeah, I don't, as far as shade structure, I don't consider those really a building, because there's really not a roof on them, or, as per se, as far as.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Have you talked to your other neighbors? Are there any other neighbors that,
The one lives behind him, is right here, that's.
And I have
This
not
one?
talked to her about that, no.
We're 243.
Yeah.
Are you want to speak, or you?
I just wasn't quite sure what was going on, because we'll talk to my husband, I'm
Okay.
doing other things.
That is something with these, you don't know what's going on, or.
So Will, are you gonna move the hot tub from where it is now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Quite honestly, we want to get it away from where your guys' windows are at.
we don't look.
To help
No,
with-
it's just a distraction to you more than anything else.
Help with my record, because the microphone takes my record, your question was whether the hot tub was going to be moved from where it presently sits.
It currently sits on the side of our house, on a patio that's on the side of the house, and it will be moved into the back corner where it'll be away from their windows.
I think it'll ultimately look nice. Are you all right with that as far as the landscaping? Yeah. Well, it's not gonna be all cement, it is, I think it'll be nice. I mean, as far as now that we know what's actually going on and what's getting done. I think that is somewhat of a gray area. Neighbors, you don't get any of this, so they don't really know what's going on.
and none of the pavers will go to the property line. The grass will be around the property line.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Well, if you want to start, we'll do one motion for the square footage. And we can vote on that, and then we'll do the 3 accessory structures. Kevin?
I'm gonna pass that one to Bill. Bill,
Okay, Bill.
you want to make a motion?
Are you calling an audible there? Okay.
Would you
What
like
do
some
we-
help with
yeah,
suggested
go ahead.
wording? So your motion could be that you would move to grant case number 16-21 as only to the request for a variance of approximately 164 square feet of the rear yard, as stated.
Okay. I move that we grant case number 16-21, 1010-2C in regards to the requesting a variance of approximately 164 square feet.
I'll second that.
Opperly,
No.
Barton,
No.
Betteridge,
No.
Jones,
No.
Spar,
No.
Warren.
No. So the square footage one.
Yep.
has been
I'm
denied.
totally on board.
And now we'll have one for the 3 accessory structures.
I move that we approve case number 16-21 under section 1010-2C for the variance for the 3 accessory structures.
I second that.
Okay, Barton,
Yes.
Betteridge,
No.
Jones,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Opperly.
Yes.
That one's approved.
Okay, that one's approved. So
Thank you.
I think it'll look nice. I think it'll work out good for everybody, especially getting rid of
That's
that
our
hot
intent,
tub.
absolutely.
Moving the hot tub's a big thing.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate everybody coming. Okay, Roger, anything tonight?
I have nothing tonight, but I will have minutes for you the next time, I promise.
Okay.
Correct minutes.
I hope not as many cases.
I can't promise that.
All right, with that, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I so moved.
Second.
Bill, did you second?
Yes.
And who made the motion?
I did.
Grant.
Grant. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say. We're adjourned, Joe.
Thank you.